Taylor here. If you haven't seen my face yet, I am the founder here at the Sew What Box, which is a sewing club that also includes monthly boxes sent to your door. And I'm a couple minutes late for our weekly live. I'm so sorry. I was trying to get some other camera angles set up for this, and I'm way better at sewing than I am at being techie. So suffice to say, I didn't quite get the other camera set up, but hopefully I'm going to get some help from some friends over the next week, and we'll have some different camera angles set up for next week's Wednesday live, and that should help with like some close-ups and stuff for like when we're doing a tutorial, which is what we are going to do today. But before I get into the fun sewing project, we've been having so much fun with the polls that we've been doing the last couple weeks. Last week, we asked you guys if you preferred digital or computerized sewing machines or the old type mechanical ones. And actually, I was surprised. It was pretty much a 50-50 split on the responses that we got back from you guys. So today's question, I'm super curious to know, do you have a cookbook or do you use your phone? Now that sounds like a completely random question, but if you are a member of our sewing club, you will know that your November shipment was full of goodies and fabrics and projects under the theme Sew Baking. And that's because November is Thanksgiving month. So the fabrics that you guys got, sorry about this weird lighting. I'm not sure what's going on here, but the fabrics that you got as extras in your kit were baking related. So what we're going to do for our tutorial is we're going to make a book cover, but not just any book cover. We're going to make a book cover for a cookbook. But if you don't have cookbooks, then you can use this for other books as well. I know I'm going to be using it to make a cover for my Bible after this as well. So I see we have a comment. You use your phone. I use my phone a lot too, but I have this cool cookbook, John Wayne's Way to Barbecue. How cool is that, right? Any John Wayne fans here? Do any of you guys even know who John Wayne is? I know a lot of the younger people probably won't. So anyways, we're going to make a cover for this cookbook, which you can use for any book as well. And keep letting me know the answer to this. Do you have a cookbook or use your phone? And I just realized that on this, I totally spelled the poll wrong. So I was typing that really quick before we got on this live video, so sorry about that blonde moment. Okay, so let's get into our tutorial. Like I said, this would be the perfect project for your extra fat quarters if you're looking for something to do with these fabrics that came in your November Sewing Club member shipment. Otherwise, just some scraps or whatever that you've got in your sewing room would work perfect. Since I wasn't able to get my second camera set up, bear with me while I try to move this one over towards the sewing machine so that we can get started cutting out fabrics. Okay, so you guys have moved with me. Welcome to the other side of the sewing room. And if you are using those fat quarters that we sent you in your box, they are cotton. So you can set your iron to the cotton setting. Beware if you just have random quilters cotton. Sometimes it's a cotton polyester blend. If you're not sure that it's 100% cotton, I would dial back the heat on your iron a bit. But before we get to ironing, we're going to need to figure out what size we need to cut our fabric to fit our book. So I will show you how to do that really quick. We're just going to see if I can get this aimed down. Again, bear with me. I'm going to work on having a better camera by next week, but my tech skills were not that great. So what I am going to do is I'm just opening this up, and I want to decide how big of a overlap I want, like on this inside, how it makes the pocket. So if you have a paperback like this, it doesn't open up all the way backwards. You don't want to go too far towards the spine of the book, otherwise you'll never get both sides on. But we want to have enough so that, it'll stay on there when you open it and read through it. So I'm just going to go about halfway. And then I have one of these markers that goes away when you use it. This one is air and water soluble. I'm just going to make sure that about an where the spine of this book is. Now, if the spine of your book is a lot thicker than this, mine's about 3/4 of an inch thick, you're going to want to add extra. So you want to basically take the width of your spine and divide it by 2 and go that far. So there's that. Once I have that marked, I can fold on these lines. And if you don't have one of these water-soluble pens, you can use a normal pen, or you can even use some pins to just put right there. And I'm just really gonna quick and dirty flop this over and cut along this line, because I know that that's gonna be double as long as I wanted. Now we're gonna finish this all pretty with the edges, so you don't have to worry about making sure that you cut straight and stuff like that. Now I'm gonna see how tall I want this. You're gonna want to leave an inch on the top and the bottom of this compared to your book. Let's see if you can see this. So 1 inch from the edge up here and from the edge down here. So I'm just gonna cut down here an inch. And the reason we're going to do that is because we are going to do hems along the top and the bottom, about 1/2 of an inch fold each time. So that's why we need an inch there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this, iron it all flat, and then fold over 1/2 inch on the edge. So let me grab my ironing board. We're going to iron this all flat, and this short edge we're going to fold over 1/2 of an inch, because this is going to be the start of our 1 inch hem. And then we're going to roll it over 1 more 1/2 of an inch. That's where we get the extra inch that we add. And this is also going to encase those raw edges so that they don't start to unravel or anything like that. Okay, so now we're going to sew along that really quick, just along this inside edge that should in place. And while I'm sewing this, let me take a look here and see if we have any comments. So I see one. Tons of cookbooks. I have the same John Wayne cookbook. Oh my gosh, that totally made my day, Becky. That John Wayne cookbook is my favorite. Have you made any of the recipes out of it? And my follow-up question for you, Becky, is what is your favorite John Wayne movie? I'm super curious. I think mine has to be McClintock. Hi, Patty. How's it going? How's the weather there? The weather over here is super weird. Like, Yesterday we had like 50-mile-an-hour winds, which is crazy. I know that really doesn't have to do with sewing, but it's kind of crazy the things that are going on. Okay, so I just got this sewed together, and let me go ahead and tip this camera back down. Okay, so one thing that you want to do once you sew something like this is you want to just go over it really quick with an iron. And what that's going to do is it's going to set the stitches and kind of get everything laying flat again, because sometimes things can curl or bunch up a little bit when you're sewing these types of things. Now, what we're going to do is we need to find where we're going to fold this over our book. So we're going to find those center lines that we made, and then lay this down like so and fold over. Just make sure that everything looks good. And if that's where you want it, you're going to take your pen again or some pins and just make a little mark up at the top and the bottom here. That's how we're going to know where to fold. We're going to fold this over like so along these lines and line these edges up. Mine are a little bit off here, you can see, but that's okay because remember we've got an inch to work with at the top and the bottom. So you can pin these in place and then sew 1 inch from the top and the bottom. And make sure that you reverse stitch, or if your machine is a computerized one that can tie a knot, make sure that you have the knot tied at the beginning and the end here, because this is going to have a lot of wear and tear as you open and close your books. I already pre-sewed the other side here, so I'm just going to really quick sew this side, and then we can get on to the next step, which is going to be trimming. But the important thing here is to make sure that you are using a 1 inch seam allowance on these edges. Otherwise, it's going to throw everything off. And I will say it is super weird to sew with a 1 inch seam allowance because it's just not very normal. So that's something to remember as you're doing this. And I'm super curious, have any of you guys, like, what other project have you guys done that takes a large seam allowance like this? Or is it completely abnormal? I'm super curious. Okay, so now this is done. And I've got 2 little pockets here like so. Now, obviously, everything still looks kind of inside out, and we've got raw edges at the top. So what we're going to do is first we're going to trim some of this off. You can leave it long if you want, but I'll trim off one edge and leave the other edge long just so we can see a difference. Once you trim this, you get to this edge over here. We want to flip this over, trim the edge that's short, see the one that was hemmed, and then take this edge and kind of like go up to the end like that. This is just going to trim off some of this excess so that it doesn't bunch around the like the part of the book that goes in here, the cover. There we go. Another blonde moment, I guess. So I'm going to touch this really quick where I sewed with an iron just to make sure I set those stitches. And then the nice thing about this is when we flip it inside out, it's automatically going to make this hem for us. So make sure you're flipping right side out. Make sure you're poking out these corners very well. If you can't quite get it with your finger, if you have rounded edge scissors like this, you can use them to go in there and kind of poke. Make sure that you don't use like pointy ended dress shears, because those will, you know, poke a hole in the edge, and you really don't want that. So now we've got this turned right side out, and you can see here that our hem is pretty much started for us. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my iron and I'm going to press around this edge flat, because this is going to need to be flat to go around the cover. And then once I get both of these sides pressed flat, it's pretty much going to be a walk in the park for us to get the next part done. And we're just going to do that by going along this fold that automatically starts. I'm going to do that on the top and the bottom here. And then what I'm going to do is just fold this over towards this crease. See, I have a crease line down here that I just made. I'm going to fold this raw edge down towards that, and that makes a hem just like we did on the other two edges. Now I'm going to do that up top as well. And then all that is left to do is sew along here just like you did with the edges. Once that's done, we should be able to fit this in our book, and it looks like mine is going to be just the perfect size. So fingers crossed that that's true once we get it in here. I think that I would say if you have a hardback cookbook or book that you're doing this for, it's going to be a lot easier to get into this sleeve here. There we go. And then the next side. Now, if you make one of these and you fall in love and you want to make one with a pocket, that's a super easy addition. All you need to do is cut out a little square the size of the pocket that you want. And once I get this in, I will show you. I totally thought that I was closer to having the sleeve on than I am. There we go. Nice little cookbook cover. If you want to put a little pocket on this, like to put extra little recipes in or whatever, all you need to do is cut a square about the size that you want your pocket. Along the top, you're going to do another 1-inch hem like we did on the edges and the tops of this. And then you'll just fold over about 1/2 of an inch all the way around. This is going to be to hide the raw edges from the front of your book. And then you will just take this and put it down on the top and sew it in place. Now, you could probably do this after you've gotten this step done, the whole thing done. So you would just set this down, pin it in place, and reverse stitch, sew down, across, up, reverse stitch. It's important to make sure you're reverse stitching up here because that's going to have a lot of wear as you put things in and out. So you could probably get this done at this step because this is not that long. We could get in there with our sewing machine, but a good place to do this would be right after you've gotten these short edges hemmed. You could just find the center where the center of your book is going to be, and then flip this over and put your pocket, right here, and then do this and sew the top and bottom to turn right side out and put on your cookbook. So I hope that was a good tutorial for you guys. I had a lot of fun, and I'm really going to be making a few more of these. It was actually pretty easy. I know that it looks like we've been going for 20 minutes, but I think that this project is way faster than that. I just did a lot of talking and had to move the camera around and stuff like that. Um, I do have a couple behind the scene updates for you guys. So, first of all, I am super curious. Are you a current member subscribing to our monthly shipments? If you don't know, Sew What Box is a sewing club that we also send out fabrics and sewing projects and sewing tools and all that kind of stuff to our members every month. So I'm going to take a second here and give you guys a sneak peek to the cool stuff that's going to be coming out in the December shipment, which will go out to you guys between December 1 and 4. Okay, so that little intro video was a lot shorter than I remembered. So give me like 2 more seconds because there's something really cool that we made yesterday that I want to show you guys, but I forgot where I put it. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, that was quick. So first of all, I want to show you some of the cool fabrics that we'll be sending out in the box. So as you know, December is kind of Christmas time, and I lost one of the fabrics. Well, this is one of the very cool fabrics we're going to be sending out. Check out how cool that snowflake print is. Can't you think of all the amazing gifts and Christmas gifts and stuff that you can make with this? I'm so excited for crafting this December and sewing because what's better than a handmade gift to give people, right? And let's be honest, these book covers could be really cool gifts to make and give people for the holidays. So, along that theme, one of the extra goodies that we're sending in next month's box, which will be sent out the first part of December, I think between the 1st and the 4th, is this packet of handmade gift tags. How cute are these? So these gift tags are going to be perfect for you to put on all the presents that you sew and make, and you can write to and from on those. So these were just a really cool thing that we put together for you guys so that you can use them on all the projects that you're sewing and gifting during the holidays. I'm so excited for you guys to get these. You have no idea. Now, if you are sitting there thinking, what the heck? I want some of that. Well, you can join the sewing club at sewwhatbox.com. Actually, if you head there right now, you can get your first shipment for free, which is awesome. And that's going to be the December shipment, which includes these cool tags and this cool fabric and a lot of other things because I can't ruin the whole surprise. But you can head there now, and if you sign up before the last day of November, then your first box is going to be sent between December 1 and 4, which is going to be our December box and include a bunch of cool stuff for DIY gifting. So go ahead and share that with your friends as well. Again, you can head to sewwhatbox.com to get all signed up and claim a free box. Okay, next update. Do you guys remember a couple months ago, I think in October, we were talking about a really cool 12 Days of Christmas gift collection that we were going to send out? We only had 30 of those. We sold out of them in like a week, which was awesome. And I have them mostly ready to go. This is an announcement to those lucky 30 that were able to get one or multiple of those 12 Days of Christmas boxes that look like this. See, I am so ready to send these out. Our goal was to send them out on the 15th, which I know I'm 2 days behind. I have one really cool goodie that goes in one of these days that has been delayed. It was supposed to be here on the 15th, and now it's saying that it should be here tomorrow. So I'm holding out hope that I can get these with that extra goodie for, I think it's day number 8, put together and sent out by Friday, because today's Wednesday. So hopefully, if I don't get that project by Friday, I'm still sending these out, and I'm going to put in a different backup plan goodie. So look for these to be sent out in the next couple days. I'm so excited to get them to you. They are 12 days of Christmas, so you can kind of start that whenever you want, but they should be to you before December. So that's the little update there. Thank you guys so much, and I had a lot of fun sewing with you guys. Let me know if you have any questions at all about your sewing machine, a certain project, anything that you got in your last month's sewing club box, or any questions about maybe joining our club. You can either email me at taylor@sewwhatbox.com, and you can see right here I spell my name a little wrong. It's TAYLAR at sewwhatbox.com. Or you can comment on this video, and I will go ahead and try to get back to you as soon as I can. And just a reminder, we do these live videos every Wednesday, so I'm super excited to see you next week. And last reminder, we're doing a poll, and I know I spelled poll wrong, so sorry, blonde moment. But do you have a cookbook, or do you use your phone? I'm super curious to find out what you guys think. All right, guys, I am going to go ahead and sign off for today. Have so much fun sewing this week, and I can't wait to talk to you and see you next week. Bye.